Good morning, beautiful people, members of the collective. I am so excited for this call. We're going to talk some real good, exciting stuff. I'm going to give it a second or two for you guys to hop on so that we can have this conversation today about whatever we want to release, whatever we want to call in, whatever we feel we want to observe, whatever we want to create in our lives. Today's call time was changed a bit, and I am super glad that we are having this call now. So, hi, Ali. I'm glad that you guys are jumping on, and today the time was changed a bit. So, apologies for any inconvenience that may have occurred due to time change. So, really, I want to talk about something very, very important that was important to me in my own journey. And now that you guys, I see you guys, walking towards what you want to create, walking towards, what you are calling in, what you, just gonna set this, what you guys are creating, whether it is creating a new self-identity. So many of you are in my 6-week program, Identity Switch, right? So many of you, so whether it is you creating a new identity, whether it is identity around, your self-concept, your I am. So because, your whole reality is responding to your I am. So what's your new I am? Your I am with your body, your self-esteem, your I am, your self-concepts with money, with wealth in general. Wealth is 5-dimensional. Whether you are, hi Elizabeth, morning, whether you are creating that new I am with, relationships, all relationships in your life. Or hi Jenny, I'm so glad all of you are jumping in. Whether you are creating your new I am with, so let's say your I am with self-esteem, your self-concepts of your body, of your money, of your relationships, of your love, intimate relationship. All relationships can be intimate, I believe, but your romantic relationships, you are creating a new I am with your business. So you're an entrepreneur and you are creating a new I am concepts, right? Whatever you are creating, what I do want to talk to you guys about is what profoundly helped me on my journey, because I knew that when I'm walking this journey, okay, when I was walking this journey, I absolutely knew that there will have to be some new self concepts. That was clear. And for those of you who may start thinking that, but you always teach us that the moment we observe, right, this ties in with the observer effect, because you'll be like, but why we love being in your world. And the way you teach us is that I don't have to observe anything else, but that I am it already. That I don't have to take 20 steps to become it. I'm already it, right? Yes, that's true. It's merely the observation of I am it, but there can be a structure to this, okay? What I do, I'm just trying to get into a position where I don't have to actually, this hair is bothering me a bit, and that's why I keep touching it. Okay, so there I have to get to a point where I am not wanting to fix myself, but rather be in the knowing that I'm it. And what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is going to help you. It's going to accelerate your coming into that knowingness that I'm it. You see? So we're not doing it from a place of you must do these things or these 10 steps and then you will become it. What we are saying is, which we've been saying from day one, since you've jumped into the collective, since you've jumped into my teachings and the teachings that have changed my own life, like night and day and night, is that whatever we're the creator of our realities, whatever we are observing, just simply put in words, whatever is my I am statement, right? My I am, my self-concept, my concept of myself is what's going to reflect into the quantum field, into the universe, into the mirror of my reality, aka my life, my business, my relationships, or whatever. And it's going to come back to me. So if when I felt I am a single mom, I am broke, I am stressed, my I am statements were that, my reality was that. When my I am statements are, I am whole, I am in love with life, I am living an unreal life, my reality is now reflecting back my I am statements, right? And does not mean all my I am statements are literally exactly the life I want. And that's the work that I'm doing with you, by the way, right? Because we always are shown the next vision, the next vision, the next vision. So I want to know how, if this is landing for you guys, before we even start this conversation. I want to kind of put a context to it so you know how we're doing this. Like it's almost like a fundamental, it's like the foundation of why we're doing this call today. What are we talking about? But not again from a place of I need to fix myself, I need to do these 10 steps. It's more from a place of I know this, that I am it, and anything that is in the process of helping me accelerate the knowingness of I am it, whatever your it is, whatever your vision, your desire for yourself is, I am going to receive it. I'm going to play with this energy, because nothing has to be serious, right? Like, as I always say, we've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 70, I don't know how many years left in this human process, with the knowingness that we have a lifespan of 100 years. That's what we've been told. Not necessarily true, but so we don't have to take things so seriously, but we can be intentional. There's a difference being intentional and being so serious about these are the things I need to do to change my life. Because this life in itself is magical and an experience. So we got to play with it from the energy of the more we relax into it, the more intentional we are, the more it's going to respond to that intention and energy, right? Hi, Elizabeth. I'm just seeing who all are here. Or drop in the love hearts. Morning, morning, morning. Ali, Elizabeth, Jenny, Michael's here. Hello, beautiful people. So excited to have you all live. So I want to share something with you guys today. Now that we've set context, of why we're having this conversation today, from a place of, okay, well, I want to do this because I'm already in the knowingness that whatever is my I am, my reality is responding. And I don't need to go around doing anything matter to matter, anything forceful to change my I am. I just have to learn to observe my I am all the time in a desired way, right? It's not even a different way. It will be different because what version of you you're desiring to become is different than what you were. That's why the changes happen, right? That's the vision of you that you've been shown. So it's funny, I'm kind of slightly wheezing today again. But anyway, so when we the reality that we're living in, okay, so when I say my I am statement, today I want to talk about and touch upon the 5% of your reality which is responding to your conscious brain, okay, and the 95% of your life, your reality that you're living, is actually responding to your subconscious brain. It's also called your supraconscious, as Deepak Chopra says. It is where It's like your operating system. Okay. So you've heard me say this many times, your operating system. What it really means is all your core foundational beliefs from the age of when you were born, when you're in theta state up to 8, is where your core beliefs around life are formed. Because you're like a sponge. You're like you're always in alpha state. You can take beliefs. And beyond that age is when you start getting analytical and you start questioning things and things like that. So your subconscious has stored all these beliefs from the time you're born to the time you're like 8 years old. Then all these core beliefs are formed. So they're already there. Beliefs around your caregivers. What does love mean? How to care for your body? What does, so say your parents separated around that age, for you, love means it breaks, it separates, or whatever, right? Like so many things. How you were cared for. You start forming beliefs around the fact that if you were told up to the age of 8 or even older, money doesn't grow on trees, you have to work hard for it. Your foundational operating system is, I have to work hard for it. If your foundational system is that love is not easy to find because you saw one of your parents struggle for love from the other, or whatever it is, these are your core foundational beliefs, okay? So that's gone into your operating system, and operating system is literally how we're responding to life. For those of you who understand what RAS is, great. If you don't understand, I'm going to take a moment to break this down for you, okay? So first thing, we have two parts of our brain. We have a conscious brain, and then we have a subconscious brain. It's funny, every time in the last 5 years, every time I've been a hypnotherapist for 12 years, but in the last 5 years, I have observed this. Every time I say subconscious, I go like this for some reason. Anyway, so two parts of the brain, the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious only contributes to 5% of everything around you and your reality and the results you get. So if you want to get a result of more money, or you want to get a result of love or deeper relationships or deeper connection, like imagine your life if you had more confidence to ask for the money raise, to ask out the person on a date that you want to be with it, to go and speak to the clients and know that they're actually sold already, right? What level of that confidence? So that your I am is going to respond to that confidence. But where we're going with this is, so there's 5% of your conscious brain, and the 95% of your life is responding to your operating system, aka your belief system. Okay, whatever you believe about yourself. Now it all ties in. What I believe about myself is my I am concept. Whatever I have believed about, even about the relationships, not everything is your I am concept, but it is coming from your operating system. So if we keep going and doing 5%, if when we do the mindset work, okay, when we go to, and don't get me wrong, 5% is really important because everything starts from your conscious mind. If we are not consciously putting things into our mind, our subconscious cannot take it, okay? So when I started doing the conscious work, when I had hit rock bottom, when I started doing this, when I my initial thing was going to Tony Robbins and doing this, because he is amazing. And till date, I look back and, Dr. Joe Dispenza came into my life right after. And so, because I was hungry for more, I'd been in spirituality for 20 years, I've been a very spiritually evolved person. Evolved means just responding to life and opening up more. That's evolution. Doesn't mean I knew everything, but the way I observed everything that was happening in my human experience, that's what it is. Spirituality means that you are more integrated with your human and spirit. In my world, that's spirituality. It does not mean that, I did yoga and I did all of those things, but that did not define spirituality. In my world, it's not like, oh, you're going to yoga, you're eating organic food, or you're meditating 20 times through the week. None of those. Spirituality is when you actually allow your spirit, which is your quantum mind, which is your higher self, which is your subconscious, your supraconscious, that life force running within you, that is attached to the field. That's why it knows everything. That's why it knows infinite possibilities. And your human, your meat suit, your lower self, your ego to be integrated. That's what it is about. That allows you to navigate the human experience like nothing else, right? Now, yeah, I'm going off topic again. I'm going to read your comments. I love when you explain the difference of subconscious and consciousness. I feel I always learn something different. Thank you. Oh, I love that. And this is why it's such a, I created this space, where we feel safe to know this, to learn this, to talk, to share our own knowingness of what we've known and what we want to know. And that's why I created this group, this membership where we get together weekly and we talk about stuff. And then you come in and you share your own situations and how we can shift our perspective, because it's really in the perspective that everything shifts, right? So I'm super glad that this has landed for you. So, two parts of the brain. This is going to be, I think, a long call. So let's go. Let's dive in. Okay. And if your girl goes on a tangent, you can gently just bring me back. As you know, I always do. But I know Jenny says, was it Jenny? Yeah, Jenny, that I love your tangents because I'm always learning something new. And I've kind of started observing that I used to be as a teacher, as a mentor, even as a coach, that when I'm working one-on-one with clients, that I would resist my tangents and I would start apologizing for them and withdraw. But off lately, I've been told so many times that, and then I realized that tangents are happening because something has to come out and be shared. And in the exact moment, it's coming exactly how it's meant to serve people. So I now never judge myself for the tangents. So, two parts of the brain, conscious, 5%, subconscious, 95%. Now, what I want to talk to you guys today about is the fact that how do we work on this 95% in a way that we don't go on a roller coaster to fix ourselves and do 20 things, but how do we, and what are the ways to do this is what I want to share with you today. How do we accelerate the fact that I am, your whole reality is responding to your I am, okay? I am Prachi. I am a mother of two. I believe I am wealthy. If I didn't believe I was wealthy, I would not experience this joy, this wealth, this abundance in my cells. My reality, my quantum field is only responding to what my I ams are, what my I am statements are, or what I have, what I do, what I don't have, all of those statements. The statements have a frequency, concepts, self-concepts have a frequency because they're thoughts, right? They're beliefs, their knowingness. That frequency is what my cells are vibrating in. What I'm vibrating in, because I'm a vibrational being, just as you are, what I'm vibrating in is what is going as my electromagnetic signature, which is my point of contact, right? My point of attraction. You all know law of attraction. My point of attraction is where I receive back from the field. But my electromagnetic signature is how I communicate to the field. Hello, universe. It doesn't understand words. It doesn't understand your affirmations that you write in your diary. What does universe understand? Universe is a ball of light, is vibration. The quantum field is nothing but the source of it all. So whatever theory you believe in, at the end of the day, it's the force field of energy that you are talking to and saying, hey, can you shape up a man? Can you shape up money? Can you shape up abundance? Can you shape up the new home? Can you shape up the new car? Can you shape up the new business opportunity or collaboration or whatever you're asking? Can you shape up a healed version of me? Right? And sorry, your girl's a bit stuffy today. And so what my electromagnetic signature is, and what is my electromagnetic signature? We've been working on this. Your thoughts, electric charge, your feelings, magnetic charge. So it is so important that whatever I am saying about myself, I'm feeling it. Whatever I'm saying, if I am feeling abundance way before the evidence is coming, my feeling has to be there. I had to feel abundant in just my existence way before the evidence is there. I have to feel it in myself, because now my thoughts. So when people write, like I told you that the number of affirmations I did, if I got $1 for that, I would be a multimillionaire. And really nothing much shifted. And I've shared this in the book, right? Where is the book? The book somewhere else, not on my desk. So we can write all we want. I am wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. Money's coming from here, money's coming from there. But if I don't, so that I'm sending the electric charge, I'm sending the intention in the field. But if I'm not feeling it, there is no magnetic charge, there is no magnetic field around me that is going to draw the experience from the quantum field or the universe or whatever you want to call it, or source. It ain't happening, right? So again, going on a bit of tangent, you guys already know these things, but I'm summarizing because from time to time we have new members come in, and some of you may know this or may not know this, or you've read my book or you've not read it, and if you haven't read it, again, jump on it. So now we understand the way we communicate to the universe is through my electromagnetic signature, right? So where all of this ties in is today I want to talk about the subconscious brain and how do you actually recode your subconscious brain. But I want to give you some context. So the context is very simple. What I believe about myself, my I am, my self-concept, my concept of self is literally what I'm vibrating in. And how I'm vibrating in fully is not just my thoughts, my electric charge. I also have to feel it. My feelings, along with my thoughts, are literally creating my reality. So now, on this note, and we all know this, okay? In the history of mankind, there are no teachers that have ever argued on the fact, and I heard Bob Proctor say this, was it yesterday or today morning? I don't know. That never have the teachers, whatever, healers, mentors, coaches, whatever personal development teachers ever argue on the fact that what we think we become, right? What we think we become. So let's tie all of this in together. My I am, my self-concept, my thoughts, and my feelings are creating my reality. I'm drawing back from the field the very experiences that I am now embodying, right? So my I am statements are important. Now let's look at the other part of the brain. That my brain has two parts, my conscious and my subconscious. My conscious is only contributing 5% to my reality. And the 95% of how my reality is being created, my supraconscious, my subconscious, my belief system, my operating system, also aka my autopilot system, which is going on itself, is creating 95% of my reality. That is why I don't work with your mindsets. There is a way to work with it. I mean, we don't exclude it, but we don't sit down here and write the affirmation. We don't do any of this stuff, right? Why? We just simply jump the gun and go like, I know this about myself. This is my knowingness. I talk to you guys all about the knowingness because when we know something, it is a part of our operating system. It's a part of our belief system. I know I'm a woman. I don't have a need to consciously sit down and write every day, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, let my conscious brain take it in, or stand in front of a mirror and go like, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, because that's only the 5% of my conscious brain. However, I just have a knowingness that I'm a woman. I know this, that I'm a woman. The same thing we do with what we want to become, who we want to become, what we want to do, and what we want to have, right? The knowingness, it must be there before I actually receive the evidence. So when I work on the 5%, it helps me. I want to talk about the ways today that you can deal with the 95% and how that 5% is contributing, or how when we get here weekly and we talk about the knowingness, I know this for a fact that this is happening because it's my vision. How is that is upgrading your operating system? It's upgrading your 95% subconscious. Okay. So let me know how this one is landing for you before I dive into the ways you can upgrade your subconscious, recode it, reprogram it, bring it in sync with your I am that you desire. That's your vision. It's that simple. So let's dive into this. Okay. The first way, okay, let's say is landing. The first way, so there's no order to it, but basically I did all of these. Okay. And what I'm sharing again is my own knowingness, but there's enough information if you want to do some research, Google, other things. Whatever I've learned is a combination of what I've learned from Dr. Joe, Bruce Lipton, many other, right? And also that 12 years of hypnotherapy that I was doing for, for a long time. And for those of you who worked with me, I have a signature method that I used in the last 2.5 years, which is called the SSC, subconscious story coding. And I'll break it down for you in a moment, because what's really happening is, what are your beliefs? Let's look at that for a second before we go into the ways. Now we know our operating system, our belief system is 95% of our reality is responding to that. But what are your beliefs? And I've talked about this in my book. This is an old copy of it. There's a whole chapter somewhere. I think number 88, or may have changed in the new book, but because there are 2 editions of the book, right? Your beliefs, how do we make beliefs? Okay, so we listen to something, a story. It's either a story we've been telling ourselves, it's a story somebody else has been telling us. But what happens is when we have a story that's playing in our reality. When we subscribe to that story, it becomes a belief. Okay. So you can have many stories. You can start having stories like when you look at the bills come in, and the bills actually are more than the income. You start having a story around it that, I'm actually make less than what goes out, or something like that. You play this 4 or 5 times, when bill comes, it will become a belief. The moment you subscribe to a story, it becomes a belief. Before that, it's a story. And we tell ourselves multiple stories through the day. Okay. Something will happen in experience. We tell ourselves a story. Somebody's driving a swanky car. We tell ourselves a story. Somebody's, I don't know, like you see 2 people who maybe are kissing or cuddling and they're looking super cute. And based on your own experience, you tell yourself a story, and you tell that story over and over again. Every time you see a cute couple, it will become a belief. You see a mother with a child, and either the mother's really super cute with the child, or the mother's scolding the child. You see this, and you see a couple of experiences, similar experiences. You make a story. Beyond a certain time, when you keep playing the same story, there comes a time when you subscribe to that story and you take it in as a belief. Okay, this is very important for you guys to understand, because there are a couple of different types of beliefs. One is when you have your core foundation beliefs, right? Which I spoke about, that when you are between the ages, when you're born up to the age of 8, you are in your alpha states, in your literally like in your theta states. So what is that? Your brain can receive information in theta states. Your brain waves are slow, and whatever is being given to you, you're accepting. Your brain is taking in. It does not have the ability to accept or reject in those states. Your subconscious is literally taking in everything. So those core beliefs are formed in that age, and rest is you're literally still upgrading your beliefs. It doesn't mean that you can't change it, you can't upgrade it, you can't whatever. Your subconscious, so belief system, operating system can be changed at any time. Now that we understand that the stories we tell ourselves repeatedly become our beliefs, I have written in the book as well, the quality of stories we tell ourselves daily creates our reality. So if you want a great reality, you literally go for good stories. It's that simple. I'm trying to look for, and I'll read to you in a moment what subconscious story coding is. Now, we understand we're going for the subconscious. The ways that I started playing with this and the ways that I highly suggest that you guys play with, because we are looking at my I am, my knowingness that I am, and everything that is going to contribute to my I am, that this is my I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am whole, I am whatever, and I've got to feel it. And then my reality is responding to it. Give it to me. I will play with it, right? So the first way is to obviously consistently use your conscious brain. Your conscious brain is whatever you're doing. You're consuming content, personal development, even listening to this. You first have to let your conscious brain receive this information, and then it goes into your subconscious. So your conscious brain has to be present for this. Whatever you're doing, you're writing your affirmations, you are consuming content, you're working with a coach, healer, mentor, therapist, whatever you're doing, that involves your conscious brain. Okay. So your conscious brain is like the gate through which the information enters. So if your conscious brain is not on board and you're not into personal development or you're not into upgrading your operating system, no way can you actually upgrade your operating system because the gate is shut, right? Your conscious brain right now is involved in this process or whatever communication we're sharing. So that 5% is very important. Now, what happens is if I consistently tell myself something, how am I telling myself? Consciously, right? So my conscious brain is involved. Every day consciously, when I am telling myself something, my subconscious starts taking it on board. Not one day, not one weekend, not one day, not 2 days, not 3 days. As you know, what do we say? Like, there is this thing in personal development, to build a new habit, you must consistently do it for 21 days. What's really happening is you consciously told yourself, from today I am healthy, or today I always go to the gym, or whatever it is. From today I start observing money in my reality. So every day you're consciously taking an action or you're telling yourself something, you consistently do it, you feed your subconscious that, because what happens is your subconscious does not have the ability. Here's the good part. Okay, there's a juicy part to it, that your conscious brain has the ability, has the analytical ability to choose, accept, and reject. Your conscious 5% of your reality, your conscious brain has the ability to accept or reject. So whatever is not going through this gate, if you're like, I'm not listening to this woman, I am not watching this content, I am not going to this show, I'm not going into this event, you've closed. Your subconscious can never receive it, right? So that your 5% of your conscious brain has the ability to accept or reject. However, the 95% of your subconscious does not have the ability to accept or reject. Whatever goes in, it takes on board. It does not know whether it is right or wrong. What does that mean? That means you think you're just watching a movie on Netflix. But when you're watching something from your conscious mind, your subconscious does not have the ability to accept or reject that. That means if I'm watching a movie and there is a broke-ass person and consistently going through suffering, my subconscious is also taking that. That is why it's so important what you're consuming. Like this was one thing I started doing. I stopped watching Netflix unless I'm only watching it with my kids for a kid movie. And that also like, oh my God, Disney, some prince is gonna come and rescue you. Let's not even get into it. So it's very important. What are you consuming? If you're sitting on the weekend and watching net, I am not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is your subconscious is taking everything. It does not have the ability to accept and reject. So if today, right now, consciously, from your 5% conscious brain, you go like, I want to listen to you, your subconscious is taking everything on board that you're right now listening to. But if your conscious brain goes like, switch off, I don't want to listen to this, your subconscious doesn't receive this information anymore because your subconscious is literally taking on board everything you're consuming. So if right now after this, I actually go and watch something violent, my subconscious is going to take that too. If I go and speak to someone and they give me all the story of their misery, and there was a time I used to do that, right? Yesterday on Identity Switch, we spoke about this in detail. When you have conversations and you are repeating your misery, or you're listening to somebody and they are like yapping about the dark cloud they're in, what's really happening is your subconscious is taking all of those in. Somebody's criticizing their ex, or they're resentful about their boss, or they're resentful about the relationship, and you're sitting there taking all of that in. I'm not saying don't be present with the people you love. This is where you put boundaries, energetic standards, like whatever it is, whatever you're consuming is literally straight going to your subconscious. Period. It does not have the ability, but consciously you have the ability. I'm going to be present for this conversation. I'm not going to be present, because analytically you can choose what you want to be in. Okay. How is this landing for you before I go into the next part of the thing? Let me know. Just drop love hearts or whatever's your favorite emoji. Let's just know that we're all on this. We're receiving this, whatever way you're receiving it. It doesn't have to land for all of us the same way. Oh, so many love hearts. Okay. So the number one way is to take your conscious brain on board and let your subconscious receive it. So if every day I do sit consciously and I do journal and I do tell myself that I am wealthy, or I'm abundant, or I'm love and I'm whole, or I am so glad, I'm so grateful that this thing happened to me, I'm so grateful that that thing happened to me. That is my conscious brain. What do you think? Your subconscious is not going to take it? It is going to take it. You consistently write every day, you consistently speak every day. It will contribute to the I am knowingness that I am wealthy. You just know once you have a vision that's been shown to you, because there's a parallel version of you living it in the multiverse. It exists. You know it. Now bring it on. Everything that is helping me contribute to this knowingness. So it would. But if just you're writing and you're not feeling it and your body's consistently in lack, we know what's going to happen. Our electromagnetic signature is not fully relaying, I am wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm love, I'm love, I'm whole, I'm whole. No, it's not. It's not going into the field. So thoughts and feelings together. So the number one way is obviously to consciously feed in information, because your subconscious will take in anything you feed it. Anything. That's why it's important to know what you're feeding in. Okay. So consistently, consciously, that's where your mindset comes in. But mindset's only 5%. That's why people can go to personal development events or consume data. But if you're not consistent with it, or if you're not doing the rest of these things, you often feel like you're failing. Why are you failing? Because you feel like it's not happened. Because it's only 5% that contributes to changing your subconscious. Number one way, play with the conscious brain, 5%. Do everything. It's the gateway. Number two is subliminals. Okay. So your subliminals are like your audios that are made at a certain frequency, And you might be like, why is this woman telling us about subliminals? Because it's literally like, it's going to shut, I don't believe it's going to shut my business because you guys come to me for a lot of other things. But subliminals, like literally, if everybody just listened to subliminals, a lot of people would be out of work. But then we didn't, it's all about helping the community. It's about helping the human evolution, right? So we're all doing our part, but subliminals like are the bomb. And I have used subliminals for the last 2.5 years of my own journey. And what is a subliminal? It's made at a certain frequency where you can't hear the conscious word, so your conscious brain cannot reject it. And it's going straight into your subconscious. So these are audio tracks, okay? You guys can DM me more if you want to know what are my personal subliminals, do I listen to, because I don't listen to all subliminals. When you can't hear the consciously the words, you don't know what's going inside your subconscious. So you don't want to listen to every rando subliminal out there because you don't know what's in it, okay? So there's some trusted ones that I listen to. Very important that you actually use right ones. You can get them customized, a lot of other things. They enter your subconscious. And subliminals, the best thing is you don't have to listen to it at night. You can literally listen to it through the day. That's it. I mean, subliminals, the more you put it through earphones, the more they work. But I have listened to subliminals even when I'm not like without the headphones. I just play them in the background. So they're entering my subconscious, and my subconscious is my operating system. And I'm not doing it from a need of, oh my God, I need to fix something. I am like, bring it on. Like, let's create the next thing. So you see, I'm already observing. This is where the observer effect ties in. You know, what we observe about ourselves becomes our atom cells are responding. The molecules in the quantum field are responding to my I am knowingness period. So I already know that I'm wealthy. I already know I'm loved. What I'm doing by listening to subliminals is literally just kind of accelerating, is literally like, I want to play with this because I'm already in the energy of it. I am just expanding, right? And contraction happens when I'm like, I am not wealthy. I need to make money. I'm frustrated. I need to have this partner. I just need to. Now I'm going into this with this so much force and so much expectation. There's contraction rather than expansion. So the I am knowingness must be there in everything before you even start creating anything. Why are we creating? We don't need to create. I'm already it. I'm allowing more. I'm receiving more. I'm pretty much relaxed about it because now I've used Neville Goddard's law of assumption. When I see a vision, I know it's mine. I'm relaxed. I am it, right? We play with so many things. We play with assuming it. We play with the observer effect, right? So I know I'm throwing in a lot of things, but you guys are aware of it because the very first thing that I have taught you in the last few months have been about the observer effect, right? On that note, you know, the observer effect 2.0. So the observer effect, like blue, you know, it's changed my life. It's changed my business, my relationship with my ex-partner, with my children, with my stepmom, my sister, my family, my friends, you know, the level of connections and the quality of the energetic standards that I have now, the woman I've become. That observer effect changed it all. And then how many of you have experienced this and, you know, the results you've gotten. And I was led to do a live one again. I ran it in January. It's been on sale, the pre-recorded. So I'm running it live on a very beautiful day, 7/7. This is a 7/7/7 portal. We don't know when it's going to happen next. I don't believe we need portals because, you know, intention is a portal. However, sometimes the universe is standing behind you going, I am making this special day 7/7/7. I am going to be full force supporting you, bring your intentions. And that's the day. So I want to run it then. It's going to be the US 7/7/7. So it's going to be Australia 8, but nonetheless, we're in the same energy. So I know so many of you message me. I will get back to you. But if you want that, I know you message me to list. I will get back to you and I'll drop you the link. And if you already haven't seen it, the Observer Effect Masterclass, everything about the observer effect from quantum physics, this principle, I'm going to break it down and how I've used it in the last few months again to get so many results, right? The evidences and things like that. So if you want the OBE 2, Observer Effect Masterclass 2, you also get all of those. Like you can use your credit for Quantum Collective membership. You use the credit and you only pay the amount less the credit. If you're buying the Quantum Leap bundle, you get the whole bundle, okay? Plus you get the OBE class. So you can message me separately. Where was I? Where was I? I'm lost. Okay. Yeah. Subliminals. Two, subliminals. So really use subliminals from a place of not I need to, but it's like I am bringing in more fun, more relaxed energy, like bring it on. So there's expansion happening in your energy field at all times because you're a vibrational being. What your energy is what is pulling. So you can sit all with the affirmations, but your energy is like all the time repelling because your energy is like, I need it, I need it, I need it. The energy is like off. We can't receive. We can do all the work in the world, but if my energy is stating to the field that I am in lack, I'm repelling it, I am not allowing it. It's as simple. Either I'm allowing it or I'm repelling it. Either I'm receiving it or I'm repelling it. So the subliminals are a great way. They go straight into your subconscious. I have played with subliminals of everything, like whole healing, wealth, because there was a time when I was broke ass, I was in debt, I was like more bills, I would get anxious every time my daughter would go to the letterbox. She loves going to the letterbox, by the way, and she still dates, she does, but it's a very relaxed energy when she walks in. I remember the times she would walk in, she would get letters, and I would literally be so anxious because of the bills. So I've used subliminals for wealth, for abundance, for money specifically, and then wealth. Wealth is 5-dimensional, right? So wealth is also spiritual wealth. My relationships, I wanted wealthy relationships. I wanted relationships where when I think of my relationships, I feel expansion in my heart, in my body, not contraction. Whether it be your parents, your ex-partner, the children, the father or the mother of your kids, or your sister, your brother, your connections. When you think of your relationships, you want to feel expansion, right? So I use subliminals for a lot of things. I use subliminal to heal my depression, my anxiety. I use subliminals to manifest clients. I use subliminals because my I am serving. I'm serving people from all across the world. My IMs were way before you guys came into my world, way before my private clients came, way before people were willing to pay me hundreds and thousands of dollars, way before people trusted that this woman is saying something I want to listen to. I'm just one of you who had to just change my I am and believe that what I have to say, what I've experienced, what has changed my life is worthy enough for to fall onto other ears and have the popcorn effect that, I spoke about the popcorn effect yesterday, that when somebody experiences the shift in us, the activation in us, it activates something in them. When they witness and observe the shift in us, there's a popcorn effect where they experience a shift and activation. So I had to believe in the fact that this popcorn effect will happen. And so when my IMs, I have used subliminals for attracting clients, for changing my relationship, for everything that my IM concept, my knowingness was being fed with, I used it. Okay, so that's 2. Number 3 is your sleep reprogramming. Okay, I've not done it for I think the last 8 months, to be honest with you, but when I started my process, I've changed my life in the last 2.5 years. This is what it's been, and fundamentally it just keeps growing and changing and changing and changing now because I'm playing with different energetics, and which I teach you in either our private calls or even in the QC. I'm always learning new things, whatever's changing, and that's why when I create these intentional programs, master classes, I teach you that, right? In the thing that I did was reprogramming at night. And that was that when you sleep at night, what's happening is your conscious brain sleep, it's quiet, it's gone off to sleep. It's like, I'm not available anymore. I need my rest. So it's shut off. However, and you'll say that you said it was the gateway, that's fine. The gate is just not hyper vigilant. The gate's not like, no, 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 I don't want this. The gate's just relaxed, okay? The gate's just kind of had the chamomile tea, and it's like, I'm just gonna be relaxed. What's happening? The subconscious mind is like, party time, baby. It's playing wild at night because the conscious mind is not like the bossy bitch telling it, this is what you can take, this is what you can't take, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do, right? So what really is happening is at nighttime, you can actually, it's funny, smileys. So what happens at nighttime, when I sleep, my subconscious mind is, so I'm in the theta state. When you sleep at night, what's happening is, this is the same state we use in hypnosis. This is the same state I get you in when I do your quantum activations. For those of you who worked one-on-one with me, or you worked ever with a person or a hypnotherapist, or healings, or Reiki, you literally go into theta states. So when we're sleeping, now I'm in theta state where I'm like a sponge. So my subconscious can take new instructions more effectively when my conscious brain is not rejecting them, right? So that means that when I'm sleeping, my subconscious is wide open. It's in theta states. Now, whatever I feed it. So one of my absolute favorite is Jess Rising. Jess Shepherd from Rising Higher Meditations. You can YouTube her. You can send me a link, DM me if you want. You guys, her stuff is sensational. I've always had felt into it. Her energy spoke to me. You know, maybe her energy doesn't speak to you. I can offer you many others. I would at night play everything. I would play for confidence, for attraction, for that I am source, that I'm one with source. I have literally played into every reprogramming when I started my journey for the first year and a half, I would say. It was really like I literally reprogram myself. And why you want to do that? So that's not subliminals. You literally can put reprogramming on. They're like 8-hour affirmations and stuff like that, right? Literally. And why again? We don't need to fix anything in ourselves. Like I cannot stress upon this enough that do not do it from a place of this is going to get me that. It's more like I am wealthy. I am healthy. What's the next level of my wealth? What's the next level of me feeling whole? Let me reprogram more. Because you already know you are, you're just going on the edges of that. It's a very different thing than I need to become wealthy. I need to fix myself. I need to reprogram myself because then my life will change. You see, they're different energies. So when I started, actually, I was desperate. It wasn't like, oh, I have the knowingness and all. So this is why you are invested in a mentor who can show you a different way of doing things. This is why you invested, right? And this is why you're here, because if you were doing it by yourself, you would probably maybe do it in a different way. And at that point, none of my mentors told me about this, to be honest, but because I'd been a hypnotherapist, I already knew the power of subconscious and things like that. So I went on my own path. I had invested at a point which was about growing my business, and then emotional intelligence and all of those things that are energetics that I learned from my mentors. This wasn't something that I was told by at that point, who my mentors were. But basically, long story short, I was reprogramming myself literally every night. Okay. So, but that was still from a place of desperate energy. So my energy was not completely matching. That's why it took me a while to have the manifestations that I experienced. Nonetheless, they still happen, right? When Dr. Joe came into my world and all the quantum stuff that I learned, which that's why it happened at hyperspeed, which I teach you now. So reprogramming, number 3, at night. Number 4, these are not in order of anything. They're all powerful ways. Number 4 is working with a therapist, okay? Hypnotherapist, or you can look at so many ways of reprogramming. Anyone who working with a theta healer, okay? Like my sister, I worked a lot with her. My sister is a master practitioner. She's a theta healer. I literally so theta is like they take you into the theta state, same thing, and they work on whatever was the distortion point. I call it distortion point. Theta healers call it something else, where you were born as infinite consciousness, then something distorted in your experience, and your way of looking at life changed. It got distorted, your infiniteness, right? So number four is working with someone who can get you into theta states, whether it's a hypnotherapist, which your girl is, whether it is someone who is a subconscious programmer, which your girl is. So I think 18 months back, or it was 2 years back, I created something after having worked. I'd been a hypnotherapist for 12 years, and I started using this with my coaching clients at that point. And some of you met them, like in the mastermind, you met one of my clients, Alka, last week. So with the subconscious story coding, my process, I want to read something to you. So what happens is I take you in theta states and then we rewire your brain. But this doesn't have to be this process. It can be anyone. You can work with a hypnotherapist. You can work with a theta healer. You can basically anyone who can take you into a theta state and feed in your IMs that you are actually wanting to become. This is the fastest way that your IMs are going to be, your operating system is going to come calibrate to it. Now, your conscious and your unconscious and your subconscious are all on board. There is absolutely no freaking way you cannot manifest that desire, because your subconscious, your operating system is relaying to the field, I am this. Your belief systems are on board. They're congruent to your desires. Most people do not manifest despite doing the work is because your belief system is incongruent to your desires, right? And your belief system is creating your vibrational state. So subconscious story, and in my book play, I've written this subconscious story coding. That's my process that I've used, to help, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of people get their operating system on point. Let's just say on point to your new IM concept. Subconscious story coding is profound in shifting realities, creating new and powerful identities, and getting manifestations into your world faster. The stories we tell ourselves regularly become beliefs. When we subscribe to them, a belief essentially is a story you have told yourself repeatedly, right? I share that with you. These stories are capable of either empowering us or limiting us. Empowering stories, so what you're telling yourself daily through your conscious mind are the stories. Empowering stories propel us forward to our desired lives, while limiting stories keep us stuck in the same realities over and over. Subconscious story coding helps identify limiting stories. So when we go into a session, when you're in theta states, your brain, you will speak up everything that is limiting you from receiving. That's what we do in subconscious story. That's how you start identifying what's been limiting you. Limiting stories that are keeping you stuck, and teaches you to replace them with empowering stories that will propel you forward in desired direction of your goals and manifestations. The rapid results from just one session are incredibly mind-blowing. When you learn to do this regularly, you begin to create new realities in your life way faster. So I can share, of course, I've not shared the process in the book, but what I've shared is that once you learn the process, you can do this by yourself, which means that you can learn to get yourself in theta states, and then you can learn to pick up all the limiting stories. You can ask your subconscious, and then you can reframe your IMs, your belief systems. Okay. So the fourth way is work with a hypnotherapist, work with a theta healer, work with someone who can help, a subconscious reprogrammer. There are so many methods out there. It's not even funny, like RRT, Marissa Peer's RRT. Some of you may be even therapists. So work with, and I know like in our quantum business mind, we have people here who are also therapists. In my mastermind, there are many therapists. So depending on your price points, whatever you're looking for, and if you want more information on my process, subconscious story coding, you can just DM me. I have opened some spots in the coming weeks before I start traveling again. So that's open to you. The 4 ways of again, reprogramming your subconscious, I don't like to call it so much reprogramming, is really you bringing your operating system, your projector into the quantum field. Your belief system is literally like your autopilot. And again, in the book I've shared, it's so important to upgrade your autopilot, to get out of the autopilot. Because what is my autopilot? I'll tell you what, 95% of your day, you're on autopilot, which means only 5% of your day are you living it consciously. When you're driving, sometimes you don't even realize you've gone into the autopilot. And what's your brain thinking? Of the past, or whatever your belief system is, of how there's lack. So if it's in the operating system, that's what it's thinking. When we are under the shower, most times that's your subconscious is operating, because your conscious kind of quietens down. You are literally sitting and having a cup of tea, and you're like just relaxed, and your brain is on autopilot, and everything that has been in the belief system is running. We are living our lives more unconsciously 95% of our lives through the day. Sorry, 5% is when you're conscious. Okay, well, what do you want, son, daughter? You make the sandwich. What do I want to eat? Conscious. When you're working, conscious, but even sometimes you have slipped away. You're in the autopilot. So 95% through the day, we're in autopilot. It's freaky. So it's really important to upgrade our autopilot operating system from a place of, I don't need to fix this, but it's like, I've declared, so you have a vision, I am this, I have the knowingness, it's already happened. Law of assumption, Neville Goddard's, it's already happened. What are we doing consistently in the quantum collective? I am observing. We use the observer effect. Now everything's coming together. I'm observing peace. I'm observing wholeness. I'm observing abundance. I'm observing love. I don't care about the evidence because I'm already in the state of wish fulfilled. Now, if I use these other four, what am I doing? I'm heightening my experience. I'm heightening the wholeness. I'm heightening the abundance. I'm heightening the abundance, the wholeness, the abundance. I'm heightening my mere existence, which I say is magic, because you're magic on legs. 1 in 700 trillion chances you are going to be born. You are born. You're magic on legs. Now I'm heightening this magic by inviting my operating system to calibrate to my new I am. How does this land for you guys? Because there is no other way I can teach you, but other than the way I have known it, other than the way I operate it and use it, right? Because if I would teach you another way, that would be not honest to me. So how is this way? How is this way for you? How is the beyond the bullshit, beyond the forceful, I need to take these 20 steps, then my life will change. I love this. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Elizabeth. So I hope today's call has served you and has really allowed you to see what's really happening behind the scenes, because really your subconscious is running the show. You believe it's your conscious mind. Unfortunately, it's not the case. The more you can go actually do some research. I always invite you guys, because you have such a faculty to think. We are beyond words. Jenny, me too. I love that. So really, our subconscious, I call it the quantum mind as well, because I believe our subconscious is the mind of God, the mind of source, the mind of field, the mind that's connected to the infinite field. And that's where we go beyond, right? So, I've recently changed the name of the academy from the quantum way to beyond, because I truly feel that the subconscious, the quantum mind, how higher intelligence is beyond the conscious 5%. We've been told beyond the programming, beyond the bullshit, beyond the limitations of what our conscious mind tells us, because the conscious mind is supposed to protect us, beyond time. Time is a man-made concept. Time is a conscious concept. You're 5%. But when we go beyond the 5%, 95% play in the field. So beyond time, beyond space, beyond logic, beyond the odds. That's why I changed the name to Beyond It All. And I also want to change the name of the Quantum Collective So I wanted to talk to you guys, and this is a great opportunity where you've been in the membership, and I want to change the name from the Quantum Collective because I've been told God Source Universe has spoken to me. That's why I was like beyond it all. And so get into the DMs. Please share with me or in these comments as I save this what resonates with you, because I've been told by God Source Universe, I've got this inspiration, this voice, it's time to change it. And for some reason, even though I don't want to change it, there's some human resistance. I've always, that my life has changed, my business has changed whenever I've leaped and I've listened to the voice, because the higher mind knows beyond the conscious 5% mind. How do you feel into the collective's name being beyond it all collective? I would love to know that. Okay. So do put it on. Hi, Melissa. We're just towards the end of the call, but I'm sending you so much love. And for those of you who want to be in the Observer Effect live masterclass 2.0. When I say live, it's on the 7th of 777 portal. I am beyond excited. I can't even tell you what's happening in my world right now, the manifestations, the feelings, the upgrades. And I want to come at the back end of this. I could have done it in a couple of weeks, but I was like, no, this is the most powerful day to do it. Even though we don't need portals, the universe is standing behind us saying this is a portal. So we get together on the US 777, which is my 8th. Just ask for the link and I'll drop it to you. It is the same Observer Effect Masterclass, but it's not, because that one I run in January. I have changed. The vibrations change. The manifestations have changed. The evidences I've witnessed in the last 6 months have changed. I've had so much come through. Now in this 2.0 Observer Effect Masterclass, which is going to be lifetime access. So even if you miss the live, you will get the replay. It's funny how many of you message me and say, I have watched this last night. I have watched this last week. Like, how many times are you replaying this, right? And every time it lands differently. So that's why I always want to give you a lifetime access. But this one, I'm actually touching not about just the concept, but how do you integrate it with your love? How do you integrate it with your money? How do you integrate it with client attraction? How do you use this integrated, or how do you use it with sales? Because I have literally, like, my business has exploded. I've had so many of you new people come into my world, all of those. So the Observer Effect 2.0 live masterclass, we're going to go step by step to how to use the Observer Effect for business, for love, for body, for relationships, for money, for career, for anything for that matter. So come, if you can, come live, because I'll be working with each one of you. But if you can't come on live, you will watch a replay. You'll get lifetime access. And I know you guys binge on it like Netflix. I know that. Hi, sorry. That's all right, Melissa. That's fine. I love you guys. I'll see you another next week on Tuesday, same time, 10 a.m. AST. Like every week, I want to bring you something very exciting. I wanted to do it today, but this was calling. So we had to talk about subconscious today and how it's running your life. Your 95% of your reality is responding to it. And for those of you who want to know more information on working on your subconscious and getting into my signature method, the subconscious story coding, you can I'm going to pop a link below, or you can DM me. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you another time. Bye.